would like to know from the opposition candidates, if you're elected, are you for keeping the pay for teacher performance? Do you want to keep that?
Yes, we're absolutely for pay for performance. The issue is around implementation of it. So we would like to get, there's about, my understanding in meeting with Dr. Fagan and the board, which was about 22 of her people, that about 500 to 600 teachers were involved, and we have about 3,400 teachers actually in the district. So we want to understand that. We want to understand the salary bands. That was a board creation, and it's based on number of applications for a position, and we're not sure that that's the fairest thing as well. But again, we want to open those conversations and listen to the teachers, because we agree, absolutely, we want your best teachers paid more, and the teachers as well will agree to that. And bad teachers is nobody any good. So we have always had the best teachers. We want to continue with the best teachers. What's interesting is when you hear things like, oh, we gave an 8% raise, there has been fee increases, and so we've got some teachers that are afraid to share their names, but they email us and say, yeah, I did get the 8%, but because of increased fees on benefits, I'm really actually only receiving 2%. If I go to Cherry Creek, which they bash for unions, they'll make $18,000 more. And that's why a lot of our teachers are leaving to do that. And that's something that we're very concerned about, is we want to keep our best and brightest teachers. And so we want to encourage those conversations with them, and then work so they feel good about, hey, what's this pay performance? And that as DPS took 3 years to implement pay performance, maybe we do that, because maybe we pilot, because there's always going to be, there's always going to be issues with change, right?
With benefits, we gave our best teachers, I think, something over a 10% increase. So I don't know what fees they're talking about, but we were allowed to pass on the pair increase to them. We didn't. There were some other things. So that, I don't know what you're referring to, but it didn't happen in our district. The pay for performance system we have is better. It replaced the union-approved wage scale, and the one that Bill used to negotiate. They had a pay for performance plan, and Bill participated in it, where basically there was no criteria, there was no, they call it pay for performance, there was no criteria, there was no records of how it was implemented, other than we know who received them. The market-based pay is very important, because what we do is we know how many applicants we get for a job. We know if we put a PE teacher application out, we're going to get hundreds of qualified applicants. We know if we have a special education teacher, previously we would get 1, maybe 2 applicants. We're now paying the special education teacher more, so that we are getting more applicants, and we are filled up with, we have filled those spots.
Yeah, I hear a lot of accusations about the current board not being transparent. Could you go back and remind us that, I think it was the union, which endorsed these candidates, that wanted those negotiations to be closed to the public, and this board, did they not make those negotiations open to the public?
All to the opposite.
Sorry, guys, for not being able to answer any questions.
It's all right.
Go ahead, Megan.
Sure. Yes, there's a couple of different reasons why we have closed meetings, but you're right. The union did agree to have open negotiations after the offer was extended to them to do so. I don't know what those discussions look like on their part, but they did agree to come to an open negotiating table, which is extremely uncommon in Colorado, by the way. If you don't know, most union negotiations take place behind closed doors, and that is a reason to have a closed door meeting. So, during the first couple of years we were in, the current board was in office, there were closed door negotiation meetings. Last year we were proud to open those doors for our public to come see. Another couple reasons why we have closed door meetings would be because of lawsuits. One was brought against our Choice Scholarship Program, another couple were brought by the teachers union, so those lawsuits are taking place. Other reasons are personnel issues. So you might have personnel issues that nobody wants to have those out in the public. So we're gonna have those behind closed doors as well. And finally, real estate transactions, that is permitted under Colorado state law. At the beginning of every meeting, when we go into executive session, we talk about what we're going to discuss behind closed doors. So yes, there's a lot to talk about, as you can probably tell by now. But yes, those negotiations previously were behind closed doors.
So, I don't know that she answered your question, did she? I can't remember who asked the question, right? So you were talking about the union negotiations?
Yeah, she did, I just
Okay,
wanted to make
okay.
sure, I thought I remembered the current board was the ones that opened those negotiations for the first time. And so I just wanted to make sure that was the truth, because they did open those negotiations.
I think so, I think both sides agreed to do that. It required both sides to agree to do that, I think. I wasn't involved in that, so I don't really know. But I do want to tell you about the closed door stuff. What I think is really important for you to think about is if you go to a school board meeting, do you ever hear any of the school board members discussing an issue, talking about it, how maybe they've researched it, information they have, how they may want to do something better, or, oh gosh, you have a good opinion, so I think we should do that instead? You never hear that. That all happens behind closed doors. That's not okay. That is how our community has gotten to a point where we no longer can support our current board because we don't know what they're doing. We can't trust them. They're behind closed doors making decisions. Maybe they're making great decisions, but I wouldn't know that because I've not heard the discussion. We've talked about civil discourse, hugely important in making these decisions. No one side is correct. We have to get together and all talk about the right things for everyone. I also want to just tell you on the salary band thing, I got something from the district saying the district does not have worksheets or supporting data available and would need to gather and recreate any such documentation. The salary bands are based on supply and demand. They don't even have the supporting documentation for what we're basing our teachers' salaries on. Thank you.